Testing. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Say something, Ash.
All I can think about is manatee.
I'm so excited for this playlist. Podcast!
Andrew Tate.
Ew.
Coming in high.
Why would you say that in our intro?
Drop some knowledge.
Why would you mention that white man in the
This
intro of our podcast?
Music is a fucking bop.
It really is. That's crazy.
Bald man.
What?
That bald ass white man.
Oh my god. Okay, anyway. Welcome to our first episode. Yay! Oh my gosh.
Welcome to Cryptard.
This is our first episode.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Bella. I don't know what else to say. My pronouns are she, they. I go to school for graphic design. That's cool. I don't know.
Oh my god.
I'm disabled. I put the crypt in the cryptards.
By the way, if you couldn't already tell, here's your trigger warning. We will be talking about some slurs against disabled people. It's in the name. Oh yeah, I'm Ash. Hello. My pronouns are he, they. And, Bella kidnapped me and now we have a podcast together.
It's true.
Yeah.
We have a podcast together.
Dude, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Absolutely terrifying.
It is. I didn't know how to work a laptop before this. No, I'm just kidding. That's my career, so I probably should know how to do that.
No, like, my social anxiety is just, like, thinking about, like, how I'm presenting myself during this and, like, how the world is, like, perceiving us.
Yeah.
Do you go
That's true.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I just got to the point where I just, like, I'm here and I'm queer. So, it's true.
Yeah.
I also just had to get past the idea of getting scared of hearing my voice after.
Yeah, for sure. For those who don't know, I started taking testosterone about 2 weeks ago. Woo!
Yay!
And I don't know if this is the reason or if I've just been smoking a lot. But my voice has been changing, so it's, like, easier to listen to myself.
So Ash sounds like a 50-year-old smoker.
Hey, now. I sound like a sexy-ass 50-year-old smoker. Hell
You do.
Yeah.
That could be your brand for the
It
show.
could be.
Like the one with the sexy smoking voice.
I'm
but
gonna get
actually it's
so
fruity.
many bitches on my dick.
You are.
on my chode.
Oh,
God.
gross. Ew. There's a reason that this playlist is airplay. Why do I keep calling this a playlist? Good God.
That sounds like a you problem.
It is. Okay, back on track. What are we talking about?
We are talking about why we started the podcast and the meaning behind the name of the podcast.
I had this idea, okay, and everybody listening to me, I don't know what it is. It's weird because I have headphones on and I'm listening to myself speak, but then I'm also listening.
See, this is why I chose
myself
not to
speak
do
through the
that.
headphones.
You know
That's a
why?
good idea.
Because I'm smart.
Okay, never mind. But anyway, what I was explaining to somebody the other day is I want this podcast. Like, I want to feel like that guy from Spider-Man. The one who, like...
Ned?
No, the one... You're Ned.
I had a crush on him.
I believe it.
He's just so cute and, like, gentle.
He adds to your bubble type.
Looks so soft.
Anyway, what I was saying is I wanted this podcast to be like that angry guy who has his own TV or, like, broadcasting show.
Oh, God.
And he's, like, complaining about Spider-Man. Like, he's, like, yelling about how, like, he keeps messing up the neighborhood and stuff like that. I want to be like that, but to, like, ableist people. Does that make sense?
That makes complete sense.
So, yeah, we're going to be authentically ourselves.
I'm trying. I'm pushing myself to, like...
Have a filter, like, somewhat.
No, I'm still going to have no filter. But to be more, like, vulnerable with this.
Yeah.
And not sugarcoat things to be palatable and digestible.
Ooh, I like those words.
Big words.
We can put this on a shirt.
It's because I read books.
Cryptoid merch.
You're just not on my level.
2028.
Bella doesn't read.
I don't read.
Cryptoid started because...
You're bored. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Well, kind of.
We were angry.
We just love hanging out with each other and talking with each other, and we have a lot to tell the world, to share with the world. I don't want to act like everything we say is something new, like it's something that hasn't already been said, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to be that person that's like, we are revolutionaries, we're putting something new out there that, like, no one's ever heard before, and we're gonna, like, make a lot of change. I want this podcast to be more so just, like, a space for people like us to feel, like, safe and to feel heard and to laugh and possibly shit themselves.
Maybe cry.
Maybe cry.
But most importantly, poop their pants.
Yeah. So, like, we're not trying to, like, change the world.
Oh, no.
We're not revolutionaries.
No, we're not. We're just nobodies.
We're two, like, queer,
with the microphone in
disabled
between us.
fucking assholes lying in a hospital bed together.
No, I'm not even joking. We're just, like, laying in my hospital bed with a little microphone making our first episode of this podcast.
Yeah. I have ADHD and autism. I'm self-diagnosed. We can talk about that later. And epilepsy and, like, a bunch of other spice. But that's, like, the main stuff that affects me when it comes to being disabled. Would you like to talk about where you're coming from?
Let me talk about my disability.
Let's talk about it.
Well, I am in a power wheelchair. I have spinal muscular atrophy type 2. Because there's 4 different types.
Because you're cool.
Yeah.
If you don't have type 2, sucks to suck.
Oh. Sorry. Just kidding. No, we don't discriminate against different types in this podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have experience with being fully, I don't know, I don't like being fully dependent on others, because I don't think I am.
You need full-time care.
Yeah.
To, like, not...
Do things.
Yeah.
To live. Simple enough. Like, sorry, I just had a flashback and realized that we mentioned Andrew Tate in our intro, and I still can't believe. Why? Why did you? Why?
Anytime someone's like, I want to start a podcast, I think of those men.
Those Andrew Tate.
Those
basically.
men.
Those men.
Andrew
Okay.
Tate. He represents all of them.
Yeah.
He is their representative. Who's our representative?
It's Uriel.
It's Yuri.
If anybody doesn't know who Uriel is, he's my 74-pound yellow lab service dog.
He's the goodest boy in the whole world.
Hashtag thank you can do canines.
He has the cutest little, like, jowls. He has this little waddle when he walks. It's so cute.
We thought about making a segment on the show where it's just his sounds.
Yeah. If you want that. We can give that to you.
We can. So,
Give the people what they want.
Should we have people tell us that on Twitter? That's crazy.
Bella made us a fucking Twitter.
I did make us effing Twitter. Just kidding.
Oh my god.
I start censoring.
Oh god, your grandparents are gonna listen to this.
Oh. That's funny. Okay. So, I was talking about myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I just have one disability.
I would like to put this out there. And if you're neurodivergent, I feel like you probably get this. There is like a very specific feeling and vibe that I get when I'm around neurotypicals. And there's a very specific feeling and vibe that I get when I'm around neurodivergents. And I get the neurodivergent feeling when I'm around Bella, as in, like, I'm very comfortable and not just like, oh my god, you're such a safe space way, but in a, like, you're retarded too way. Like, we're hitting for the same team.
Yeah.
I think that Bella has ADHD.
Self-diagnosing me on the podcast.
Yeah, you can come for me if you want. I don't care.
Okay. That's basically the whole thing about this podcast. It's like, you can come for us if you want, but, like, we don't really care.
Yeah.
Unless we, like, genuinely messed up and we're like, oh.
Yeah.
We don't want to get canceled this early.
Right. Well, I mean, we already have a very controversial name.
Yes.
It's all about, like, taking back slurs.
Mm-hmm.
I like hearing members of our community being called those names, and then also hearing myself be called, like, retarded is, like, it gives me a very guttural reaction every time I hear the word. It's, like, deep in my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
It's, like, an acidic word that I don't like to hear anyone who isn't disabled use. And for me, every time I use it, it's like saying, like, fuck you, that's mine.
Yeah.
You don't get to use that against me.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because it's like, for me, I feel like the word cripple has more of like a humor tone to it. And I feel like people have kind of like made it a more humor tone.
Well, I think because disabled people in general, but particularly people who are like visibly disabled, are like the butt of jokes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it has become like a very humorous word.
Yeah, vegetable.
Oh my god.
It's like VeggieTales. It's like a bunch of disabled people.
A bunch of vegetables in like power chairs with like canes and braces.
Worshipping Jesus.
Yeah.
That's my life. I'm just kidding.
Do you worship Jesus?
No, I don't. That's a different episode.
That's a whole other episode.
That's a whole other episode.
I want to do research into like disability and religion.
Okay.
We'll
put that on the list of topics.
Yeah. That's going to become my new hyperfixation. Watch me rabbit hole tonight. It's going to be like 3 a.m. My partner, hi baby, will be just like sleeping, and I'll be searching how like people with SMA have created bonds with Satan. You know?
Oh, cute. Okay. No filter.
I told you. I think when I'm around you, it's hard for me to have a filter because it's so easy to be myself.
Because I'm crazy.
That sounds very sappy and cringy and gross, but it's true. You do. You make it very easy for me to be myself and to, like, I can stim and I can tick and I can info dump, and I don't feel like you're gonna make me feel bad about being myself. And you'll always be fucking honest. Like, if I need to shut up, you'll tell me.
Okay, well, have I?
Well, because sometimes I talk a
lot. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. Me too.
I like when you talk a lot.
Oh, that's cute.
Aww.
Thank you. We need, like, a little soundtrack, like, currently in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I need, like, a little button.
Like,
where it's
lo-fi beats.
Yeah. No, not lo-fi. Well, yeah. But also, like, sound effects, like people booing or something. We need, like, a booing machine.
I, was in a D&D campaign with this amazing DM. She's great. And one of the people in our campaign had this spell called Thunderclap. And every time they cast Thunderclap, she would play this, like, SoundCloud sound called, like, fart reverb.
Oh, cute.
We need to get her in here. She can be our, like,
That's our guest.
sound effects
I'm just
person.
kidding. That's our first guest.
That's our first guest. My D&D campaign Dungeon Master. Here's a hot take. Well, no, it's not a hot take.
Hot
it's
take
just
or hot
something
take?
that I don't want John to hear. I think that D&D nerds are some of, like, the kinkiest people that I know.
I honestly believe that, and I second that.
It's true.
That's funny.
Yeah. I, like, even, like, the asexuals are, like, low-key kind of kinky.
Yeah.
By the way, you can be kinky and ace.
Yes.
I'm demisexual. I'm kinky as hell. I'm putting this all out on the internet right now. God.
That's crazy. What were we talking about again? We, like, go off on tangents.
We
Also,
do.
like, anybody, this is our first time recording anything, and if it's overly loud, I'm sorry. Like, you may want to keep your volume minimum.
If you have any constructive criticism for us, if
Like,
you have any critiques.
Hey, Cryptard, y'all's recording almost gave me a hearing aid.
Hey, Cryptheart, shut the fuck up.
Please don't say that. I'm sensitive.
Like, we have an Instagram, at Crip_tard. So, like, if you DM us and be like, hey, by the way, I think this might help.
I think somebody like texts us, not texts us, DMs us, and they're like, y'all's podcast is a little messed up.
It sucks shit.
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. Like, y'all need to remove this from the internet, because it's bad.
Should we start on our first subject?
Subject.
Subject.
I love how you announced that. You didn't even, like, really give a transition. You were like, I'm pulling up the doc,
That's
and I'm
how
making
my
it known.
brain works.
What?
What?
We need, like, little intermission music.
We
Like,
really do. I'm trying my best.
Just, like, rip
here.
off Jeopardy.
We already, briefly went over visible and invisible disability. Like, it was slightly mentioned, I think. If it wasn't, I'm sorry, I have brain damage. Should we get into that shit?
Invisible disabilities.
Should we talk about that?
Sure.
I mean, it kind of ties into the name of the podcast, Cryptard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think our name is like an umbrella
It is.
of different disabilities.
Yeah.
Invisible or visible. And I think our name reflects that.
And experiences for people with invisible disabilities, visible disabilities, both are, like, very different.
Mm-hmm.
I think also something that I've thought about lately. I know. We're getting deep.
Deep.
Really deep.
We need, like, a sound for every time that we get deep so people know in the podcast. Like, a little,
emotional
like,
piano music.
like the sound in Hunger Games when someone dies.
Similar to how, like, a cis gay person could be, like, transphobic. That's a type of, like, queer discrimination. It's, like, queer on queer. I think disabled people can also be ableist.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, we also need to, like, stop getting caught up in our own experiences all the time and listen to each other.
Mm-hmm.
See, I told you, I can be deep.
You
I'm getting
could.
real deep.
I like how you went there. I like it.
Like, in fact, for any subject, stopping and, like, listening to other people in your own community. like, you don't just have to educate yourself on other communities. Educate yourself on, like, the communities that you yourself are a part of.
Yeah.
Like, my experience as someone that is not perceived as being disabled by the rest of the world, like, without me telling them, is, like, drastically different from your experience. And I've learned a lot from... I've learned so much.
Well, I think it's interesting because, like, even for the SMA community, like, we all have different experiences and different needs, even though we have the same disability. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And so I think taking the time to, like, listen to people, because not everybody's going to have the same experience as you, even if they have the same disability as you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important to, like, listen to your community.
Also because disability is a spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
I got diagnosed with epilepsy in the 5th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And so I met a lot of other people with epilepsy through... I went to Minnesota Epilepsy. Shout out to anyone who...
Sponsored!
Went through that. Sponsored Minnesota Epilepsy.
You should just get all the places.
Like, people with
sponsors.
very different experiences. I know people who are still struggling with seizures. I know people who grew out of their epilepsy. Yes, that is a thing. You can grow out of it. And I know people like me where it's still very much so present in their brain, but are, like, lucky enough to have the medications they need to keep it, like, stable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's any disability. SMA, epilepsy, autism, like, all the juices, all the spices.
All the spices.
All the sprinkles.
In the pantry. It's like Ratatouille. What am I going to make today?
I'm going to make a cripple.
Oh my... It's me. They just took me out of the oven. It's me. That's funny. A little spice.
Like, it's all very different.
I am Mexican.
Yeah?
I have a little flavor. You're Irish.
I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm pretty fucking white.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. What's that like, being a white passing Mexican?
Oh my god. Well, back in high school, okay, so my last name is a very Mexican last name, okay? And both my parents are not Mexican. Well, okay, no, my dad was, but anyway, he's not my life. But both my current parents are not Mexican, so I don't really have that much of an insight of the culture. So I do consider myself a white passing Mexican.
It's interesting because, like, your bio father is Mexican.
Yeah.
Your bio mother is white.
Yeah, well, she's Portuguese.
Well, she's she's white.
Okay, yeah. But I would get...
And then, like...
Okay, well, like, hold on. I, like, started my thought, and
Okay.
you, like, finish it. Otherwise,
Okay.
I'm never gonna get there.
Okay.
But I, like, would be invited to these, like, clubs in high school of, like, how Latinx people were being treated, like, in the school because of my last name. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm fine. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, you know what I mean? Did you just disassociate, or where did you go?
No, I'm listening to you.
Oh.
We're going all over
The place.
All over the place. When there are these, like, pauses where we're not really saying anything, and I, like, stutter a little bit.
Feel free to take a sip of your water.
Do that.
Coffee, go to take a bathroom break.
I think it's because we're buffering.
Yeah.
I feel like I buffer a lot.
Sometimes I think I have, like, half-formed thoughts in my head.
You know what I said about you having ADHD?
Yeah.
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 Probably.
We're back at square one.
Back at square one. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Where are you going with this?
I don't know. You were talking about being, like, white but also Mexican in high school and being invited to join these clubs.
Yeah. And it was
Yeah.
interesting.
It's interesting.
Because they would speak Spanish with each other, like, in the class.
Yeah.
And I, like, didn't know Spanish. I'd be like, I'm so fake. I feel like I'm fake.
Do you feel connected to your identity as a Mexican?
Not really, and I think it's because of that. Like, I haven't been shown it as a kid.
Because
Kind of.
you're walking, talking sperm donor.
I like that. I like that term. That's funny.
Is now not. He went to another world.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and X have that in common.
I love how now you're talking about your partner's inside life.
They're very open about it.
That's good.
Yeah. But, like, you're twinsies.
Twinsies. Okay, talk about what you were talking about. Visible disabilities.
Yes.
I think that's what you were talking about.
Right. I think there are things that make having an invisible disability, like, more frustrating, like, people not, like, believing me, people being, like...
So, do you really have epilepsy?
People being, like, no.
Do you really have epilepsy?
Like, if I'm not on the floor having a seizure...
They're like, no, you don't
or
have
if
it.
I'm
or even
not,
if you are having a seizure.
If I'm not getting overstimulated and having a full meltdown, if I'm, like... Or even, like, people not believing that I'm autistic because I'm, like have perfect sleeping eyeliner or, like, whatever.
Oh, my God.
Like, shit like that.
They really can't be autistic because they have perfectly symmetrical winged eyeliner.
Well, like, the way that I look, people are like, you don't look autistic. You don't look disabled.
See, people, even insurance companies do that with me. They're like, does she really still have SMA?
Yeah.
Like, we need to check that.
We need to check on
in
that.
order for her to get the stuff that she needs.
This is a real thing.
This is a real thing. This is kind of a problem right now.
We just went to one of those appointments for you to prove that you still have SMA.
Do I still have SMA?
Do you?
I don't know.
Try and stand up.
Ugh, I can't. I don't think I have SMA.
You
I think it's something else.
You think you're cured?
I think I'm cured. I can walk. I can make a grilled cheese. I can run.
Grilled cheese.
Run, Forrest, run.
But, like, not being believed, but then at the same time, because people can't see my disability, I get more respect and people have more expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a visible disability, people infantilize you and expect less of you, and, like, my friends who are further on the spectrum get, like, infantilized a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you poor thing.
Infantilization is such a well-known thing in the disability community.
Yeah. I'm very, very privileged to, like, when I have something to say, or, like, if someone has something to ask me about, like, my medical shit, like, they'll just talk to me. They won't turn to the person sitting next to me or my mom to, like, ask if I'm okay. They'll turn to me and they'll look me in the eye and they'll ask me, like, what I need and what's up. And, like, yeah, there's a lot of times where, like, people speak over me and I feel like I don't have a voice, etc., etc. But, like, compared to, like, your experience...
I've had people come up to me, like, in Mall of America and, like, look at my PCA and be like, what's her name? And, like, point at me, and I'm, like, right there. And I'm like, I always like to pretend that I don't know. I'm like, I don't know what my name is. Like, pretend I don't know.
So there's, like, the not being taken seriously as a disabled person part that sucks shit, because I have to fight that much harder to get my accommodations accommodated.
Yeah.
Like, I was in high school. I went to a Catholic high school, by the way. Teachers were not required to accommodate accommodations, and I had the worst time. It was pretty hellish time with religion teachers. I was at parent-teacher conferences sitting with my mom, and this religion teacher, this bitch, said to my face, she looked directly into my mom's face, and she said, I do not accommodate accommodations. And she,
That's so just, like, weird to me.
yeah, and she thought that she knew what was best for me. That, like, if she didn't accommodate my accommodations, I would somehow just, like,
You'll be fine.
adapt.
You'll be fine.
And that, like, I would learn how to deal with it.
Oh
She
my
was like,
God.
you're not going to survive in the real world if I give you your accommodation.
I mean...
I'm like, well, then maybe there's a problem with the real world.
Okay, well, that's a whole different topic.
That is a whole different
That is a whole
topic.
different topic. In our podcast bio, we mentioned how we will kind of have gritty or I don't want to say
Oh my God,
uncomfortable.
you're lame. Bella wrote that.
I
by
did
the
write
way.
that, and it was pretty good. If I don't say so myself.
Yeah, applause.
Thank you. Just like leave the audience with some questions of life. Does that make sense?
Okay. What question do you want to leave them with?
Well, okay. I think you transitioned it to something.
Okay. You want to
Nice.
like, when the podcast is over, for them to, like, sit with what we've said and, like...
No. I think we
Have
can
a
briefly
question.
talk about it.
Okay.
I think. I don't
Why
know.
don't you say what you want to say?
Well, I don't know where it's going. I think you transitioned to, like, an interesting idea, though,
Mm-hmm.
of, like, is the world built to unaccommodate us?
The world is built for able-bodied and people.
People.
And able... I was going to say able-minded. I am able-minded, though, but, like... You get what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Abled people. And it has been for fucking ever.
Yeah?
The elevator at the train station is still locked. God, I said that with no context.
Yeah?
There's, like, the train station by the apartment building that we live in. There's, like, an elevator that goes down to the train.
It's always locked. I always have to walk
Because
around.
homeless people like to hang out in the, like, foyer of the elevator to stay warm. And then the government was like, no.
We're
We
probably
don't
get-
like homeless people and we don't like disabled people, so we're going to lock the door.
Are we going to get in trouble for calling out the government in our
Sure.
podcast? Are we?
It'll add more to our background story.
No, are we going to get, like, in trouble? Probably not. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anything that we say, we're sorry now. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Disclaimer.
I'm not fucking sorry. Fuck you, government.
Oh. Anarchy. No, I'm just kidding.
Bella deserves access to the train.
I do. I deserve the right to move.
The world was not like it's bullshit. I get, like, I have a lot of big feelings about this.
Yeah, I do too.
The world.
Because I live it every day.
Yeah. The world is just, like, against us.
And it kind of is. It really is.
It really is.
Starts crying.
Did you know that America is ableist?
Did you know that capitalism is against Wait, against disabilities. That's not. Capitalism is against ableism. No, just kidding. It'd be funny.
As so long as capitalism exists, ableism will exist too.
Because I've never had my first job.
You
Isn't that
have
crazy?
it, yeah.
Because I don't know how to go about that. No one taught me how to find a job that will be able to be something that I can do.
Like, give you a steady income.
Yeah, or give me, like, accommodations. Like, I still don't know if I can bring a PCA to work.
Yeah.
Like, it's those type of questions that are kind of, like, scary unknown.
It's like, if you are not profitable, you are worthless.
Yeah, basically.
And if you want to have a job, if you want to support yourself, then there's all these different barriers in the way of making that happen.
And it adds to the idea of, like, infantilization.
Mm-hmm.
It adds to the idea of, like, oh, you're a lesser person because you
Yeah.
can't make a steady income.
You are an amazing graphic designer. I'm about to hype the fuck out of you.
Oh,
you are
thank you.
so good at what you do.
Thank you.
And I think that you could do some really cool stuff with your career.
Mm-hmm. Also, this podcast is opening
Yeah.
doors for us.
But, like, if you can't have, like, a PCA with you at work, then like, just... you know?
Yeah, it's just frustrating.
By the way, if you don't know what a PCA is a personal care assistant.
We should have, like, a little vocab thing.
We should. This is your vocab word of the day.
Personal care assistant. PCA. Which, by the way, that's a whole different story. I mean, PCAs are amazing, but the government doesn't love PCAs.
The government.
The care crisis.
The care crisis.
In Minnesota.
Google it.
Google it. Honestly, you probably wouldn't find much, because people don't really care.
Doesn't get enough attention. I was about to... You know what? I'm going to tell the world anyway. I need to pee.
Okay.
I can hold it.
Okay.
But I was about to just be like, I gotta piss.
We only have 10 minutes left.
Really?
Of our first episode. That's crazy.
Oh my god. If you stayed this long, good for you.
You deserve a cookie.
You really do.
More than a cookie. You deserve a brownie.
You deserve a whole fucking cake.
A whole cake.
I'm trying to, like, censor myself from
Yeah.
saying... That's why I keep pausing like that mid-sentence.
If you're under the age of, 13? No, I'm just kidding. People under 13 probably listen to worse things.
Oh, yeah.
Kids these days with their iPads. You never know what they're watching on those iPads.
Back in my day.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, I
was about to say, I was like, yeah, you keep going with that.
Well, I was thinking about when I was little, I had these next door neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to call them, like, Max and...
Ruby! No, just kidding.
Bingo.
Max and Ruby.
Max and Ruby.
Ruby and Max. Did you watch that show?
No.
Oh my god, really? The two bunnies? It's like the sister bunny and then the little boy bunny. It was like her little brother. It was on Nickelodeon.
I have to check. Oh, yeah, I didn't have cable as a kid.
Oh, right.
Yeah. When I was little, these two neighbor kids, Max and Ruby.
Ruby and Max. Sorry.
They had this, like, dirt patch on the side of
that
their
sounds
house.
like the show. That's so
Really?
weird. Yeah, okay, continue. Sorry.
And one summer, we just started digging a hole.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
We just dug, like, the biggest hole. We got, like, a hose. We got our Tonka trucks. We filled it with water.
Tonka.
It was all, like, muddy. We'd, like, put the trucks in there. And, like, this whole summer, we just played with this hole. There was, like, this neighbor kid from, like, down the street who'd come over. I actually worked at him at the grocery store in high school. He was really cool. Shout out to him. I'm not going to put your name out there, but he wouldn't let me walk home alone at night
That's
from the
cute.
grocery store. So he'd drive me home because he didn't want me to get died or hurted.
That's so cute.
Yeah. Anyway, shout out to his parents
Shout out to
for
his
raising
parents.
a not toxic man. Anyway, he helped us with our hole. We had the best hole, Bella. Let me tell you about this
So
hole.
cute.
You could have fit in the hole. I could have set you down in that hole.
You should have.
Buried you.
Buried me in there. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna ask for my needs. Can you put my hand down, please?
Yeah.
Oh my god, we should have a moment where, like, I ask you for help and we're like, oh my god, Bella asked for their needs.
Yeah. I'm so proud of it. I'm like the able-bodied version of white savior.
What?
I am an able-bodied savior.
Ew.
I'm your savior. I'm a saint.
That's kind of gross.
Because I moved
Because I help
your
people.
hand.
No, literally, people think like that, though. Like, I opened the door for you. I am the savior. of
It,
the
like,
world.
helps with their, like, sense of, like, moral code. They're like, I'm a good person. I'm
It's
an
like
ally.
Is it fine to say that's, like, the bare minimum?
Say ally.
Ally!
Speak ally.
Ally.
Shout out to all the gays listening.
Oh my god.
We have so many gay listeners. Shout out to you, faggots. We love you.
We have so many cripples listening. Shout out to you, cripples.
Shout out.
Oh my god. Okay, what other things were we trying to cover today?
You know, I'd like to start on like another big topic, but I don't know how much time we have.
Yeah, we only have like
Can I?
6 minutes left.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay. I think we could talk about it
Okay.
as soon as my brain remembers.
Okay.
See, this is the buffering thing that I was talking about.
I feel like people are gonna listen to our podcast and they're just gonna feel like they're swimming in like open water. Like they're not really getting anywhere, but they're just like moving their arms.
No structure.
And there's some exercise going on. That's our podcast.
I was going to talk about how the disabled community and the queer community intersect a lot.
Oh yeah,
So fucking much.
so much.
So what's it like to have SMA and like pussy?
That's a good question. Actually, I don't really know. No, just kidding. I've had
That sounded
experience.
transphobic. I'm trans though, so like it's okay. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's fine. Like,
what's it like for like to be disabled and queer in 2023?
oh wow, you really threw that question out of the blue for me.
Yeah.
You gotta give me 2 days. No, I'm just kidding. Well, COVID? No, I'm just kidding. I feel like COVID.
God, COVID.
Like, COVID, okay. I feel like communication in our generation isn't great. Do you agree or do you disagree? Like,
I think
besides social media and like texting.
I think that's a very layered question.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like an onion. It's gonna make you cry.
could you like elaborate on it? Like, what do you mean, like not that great at communication?
Well, I don't know. I feel like maybe it's because I'm crippled.
I think here's my thing. I think for a very long time it has been okay to not be good at communication because of like systems in place that don't allow it. For example, I'm about to talk about trigger warning, about non-consensual sex stuff.
Oh my god, we're really going
We're
into
really going into it.
first episode.
So for a really long time.
If you get triggered by this, you can leave the episode.
Yeah, leave.
Leave.
Go away, take care of yourself.
Oh my gosh, go
Drink
get a bubble
some
bath.
water. Unless you're like Bella and you don't like water, then drink some fucking milk.
Oh my gosh, you're calling me out about my.
Okay.
I drink water. I'm listening.
So for the longest time, like men and women in cis heteronormative society, it was like you didn't need to have communication because it was all up to the man.
Yeah.
He made the decisions. There didn't have to be a conversation. There didn't have to be a talk because the AFAB person had no say.
Yeah.
And now that, like, we're stepping away from that into, like, racism isn't okay and you can't unconsensually have sex with your partner. Like, you need to talk about this. People are, like, just learning. It's like we're taking baby steps on how to talk to each other.
Oh my god, yeah, for sure.
We really are. Like, we are relearning how to be like, hey, is it okay if I kiss you? And, like, hey, like, you can't say that. That's not okay. Like,
Yeah.
we as people are just now learning how to have those conversations in an effective way.
Mm-hmm.
And so we fucking suck at it.
Oh yeah. Well, I think it's a long process.
Yeah. We all need therapy. We all do.
This is an ad for
I
therapy.
swear, yeah, no, like, if I wasn't in therapy, I would be in a very different place. I don't know if we would even be friends because, like you said, like, we're bad at communication.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and also having conversation is hard.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
It's not.
It's a lot of work. It's a
Eye
lot of
contact's
energy.
hard.
No, like, you don't have to make eye contact to have a conversation.
No, but I feel like
You say that to the autistic person in the
I know,
room.
but like
I hate eye
able-bodied
contact.
society is like you must have eye contact to have a good professional conversation with someone.
Yeah.
And I think that's ableist.
I think having a good conversation is, like, held to the standard of, like, how you sit, like, whether or not you're fidgeting, like, where you're looking, your tone of voice, your, like, social cues. When really, good communication should be based on what you're taking away from it, like,
Yeah.
what you got from having that conversation.
I think a conversation
where both parties are at.
should be, like, a safe space. Like, when I have a conversation with somebody, I want to, like, accommodate for them to be able to converse with me.
Yeah.
Converse? Is that a word? Yes.
Converse.
Converse.
Yeah, that's a word.
Okay,
Converse, the shoes.
Converse the shoes.
Sponsored.
If only. They send us, like, little
What
PR
were
boxes.
you gonna say about how COVID and communication, like, what that has to do with, like, queerness and disability?
Is that a question?
Yeah, you said that earlier. We were talking about, like, what it's like to be gay and disabled in 2023, and then you started talking about how we suck at talking to each other.
I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, if you don't remember, that's fine.
We gotta take notes during these.
Hey, if any of y'all have something to say about this, about, like, I want to be able to, like, read your DMs or your messages or whatever.
Yeah, we don't want this podcast to be one-sided.
Yeah.
We don't want to have a conversation with each other, make a recording, put it out there, and then never talk about it again.
Yeah.
We want to have valid conversations with others.
Then we can, like, take what you've said from
Yeah.
DMs and shit, and we can talk about it in the next episode.
Oh my god.
Because I think that would be a really cool
I
thing to
think
do.
that would be a very cool thing to do.
Yes.
So, what did we learn for our first episode?
We learned.
We should do, like, a little recap before we send
I
off
don't
to
have
next
the brain
week.
cells for that guy. We learned that I have to pee.
Okay.
I'm retarded.
I'm crippled. We should do that. Like a little, I'm crippled. And I'm.
And, my name is Ash.
My name is Bella.
And this is Cryptard.
This is Cryptard. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so. Oh my god.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, bye.